Sure we will. And I'm back. The Mighty Blaze Pub Day Fund continues here, reading with Robin for Mighty Blaze. My guest this hour, this half hour, is Veronica Roth.
Hello.
Hello. Veronica is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of the Divergent series, Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant, and For a Divergent collection. The Carve of Mark duology, Carve the Mark, The Fates Divide, The End and Other Beginnings collection of short fiction and many short stories and essays beloved by a gazillion people. Chosen Ones is out today. Look at this gorgeous book. And it's a treat to have Veronica on the show. This is Reading with Robin for Mighty Blaze. I have to remember who I am, Veronica.
Man, it's tough right now.
It's tough on a good day, especially now. Veronica Roth, welcome to A Mighty Blaze.
And thanks for having me.
Pleasure. And the first thing I do is check out my author's surroundings. And you said it's a beautiful day in Chicago. So is that a window behind you or a mirror?
Yeah, that's a window. So that is a sunroom. We blocked off this part so that you wouldn't see a halo around my head.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's my office back there.
Oh, that's so cool. I think it's nice to have a halo on your head.
Well, I mean, it's very bright. It's like the sunniest day we've had in a long time.
Isn't it? I know. We were, Veronica and I had like a whole 2 minutes to like chat and get to know each other in depth. And there is something about that weather just making, and everybody around here is out, so, and mindful of the space.
Right.
But it kind of feels like, oh, it's spring. And then you have to remember it's a new spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. So Chosen Ones is just out. Oh, and visit veronicarothbooks.com for all information to her Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. You have incredibly active pages. Is that something you spend a lot of time on? Do you have help?
Instagram, I'm not on Twitter, but Instagram has gotten more intense since we've all been at home all the time. Partly, for like business reasons, but mostly because I need something to do that isn't just like sit there and worry. So I've been embracing it.
Yeah, I know it's not all bad. And it's funny that depending on what's going on at the time, it can be a real distraction or a real interruption or just a really welcome thing. Are you finding new accounts that you like, or are you just going through the ones you like and bing, bing, bing?
I am mostly going through the ones I like, and mostly what I follow on Instagram that shows up in my feed the most is animals. So it's just like a series of cats, squirrels, dogs.
Best. I mean, that is, people are really, there are marathons on about baby animals. I actually sent a plea to our friend in Virginia. She had a litter of puppies. I'm like, can you just do you have a nest? Can you just put a nest on the puppies? And she said she's lucky that she's even on Facebook or whatever. But I was like, because she posts pictures.
I would watch that.
I would watch that. And I think some people do, but like it was this specific litter I felt very attached to watching. So,
the San Diego Zoo has its cams on still, so you can watch like the koala cam and stuff like that if you're feeling starved for cute.
Oh, the koala cam. I like that. Yeah. I mean, animals just make us feel better, and they don't know what's going on.
No, they don't know and they don't care.
They don't know and they don't care. I know. It's not a bad place to be. I wish I didn't know and didn't care. And this is your first adult novel.
It is, yeah.
That's a really big deal. I don't know why I can't seem to know which way to. Oh, like it, the double Chosen Ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your fans know the series. I mean, it's hugely beyond stratospheric popular. And now you came out with this adult novel. So, and I like reading YA also.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing. So why adult novel? And will your YA fans be like, well, I can read an adult novel too?
Well, yeah, I mean, the categories are useful until they're not, so I get a lot of like, well, can I still read it? I'm 17. It's like, yes, of course you can. No one's stopping you.
So cute. They ask you. That is adorable.
Yeah, but I think they want to know like, well, why is this in this category? So really the reason is that on a thematic level, it's just not the same as in the YA category. So this book is very much about like what comes after you have achieved the big thing in your life, like that you've been working toward, which I think everyone kind of understands. Like you're always working for to go to college or to get a job or move out of your house, like, and then you have to answer the question, like, what do I do now? So that's kind of where it sits.
I love it. Yeah. What now? Well, I thought that was really very interesting, the way you sort of flip that scenario. And so what got you thinking, I'm going to do it this way? Like, what was the spark?
I think I really grew up on kind of chosen one stories. Anyone who likes any science fiction or fantasy knows at least one of these stories, like Buffy and Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, and they're everywhere. And I always particularly liked them. And so, and we do see like what happened to them after sometimes, like in Harry Potter, there's an epilogue, and Dune, there's sequels, but the focus on the psychological aftermath of bearing these burdens at a young age and then having to what do you get a job? Like, can you go to the grocery store? Like, I don't
save the world, then what do you do?
Yeah, there's I think there's a scene in the Hurt Locker where, the guy, he defuses bombs. That's the basis of the movie. And he goes home and he goes to the grocery store and he just stares at like this wall of cereal. And I find that scene is like tattooed on my brain because that just seems like such an impossible thing to have to readjust to. Like, I was, doing this big important thing, and now I have to like decide between Lucky Charms and Honey Bunches of Oats. Like, that's just such a strange thing to have to go through.
That's so funny, and a book for our times, because really, when you think about how many people are sort of, quarantine, lockdown, whatever you want, and they have these big important worlds and trips were planned, everything was going on. Now it's like, you know where the spoons go.
Yeah. Oh, the weird fights that you have with your spouse now.
Oh, that was somebody else. That wasn't me.
No.
But it's like, the surgeon coming home, and then it's like, hey, could you, it's doing like the mundane things, where, which isn't diffusing a bomb, but it's just like putting yourself in that space of like, wait, I was just doing that.
Yeah.
And choosing cereal is hard on a good day. Let's be fair, right? So there is that. So set up the story. There's never any spoilers, and Veronica Roth's Chosen Ones just came out today. Visit her at veronicarothbooks.com and find her on Facebook and on Instagram. So do you manage those pages yourself?
I have help.
Yeah.
A wonderful assistant, but I am the one who's always posting. So she puts up things that I make. So if it sounds like, it's always my voice. So just in case people were concerned.
Because it's a lot, and I know the readers love to be connected to the writers, and there's something really special about that relationship. And most of it involves a lot of time. So I'm always just, so impressed to see that engagement, and I know what goes into it. And so that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really value that connection too. So, but I think did you ask me to set up the book? Is that what you asked me?
And then I diverged. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm totally with it today. But so Chosen Ones is about a group of people who they defeated this Dark Lord figure named the Dark One when they were teenagers, and now it's 10 years later. They're the most famous people ever, and they're dealing with the repercussions of what happened, both psychologically and in the world around them. And my main character is Sloane, and she is prickly. It would be a nice way to put it. Not happy with being famous, and also dealing with significant trauma from having done all of this, pretty intense stuff when she was younger. So,
yeah, that's the thing about, well, certainly post-traumatic and all of these things, but when you put your characters in a situation like that where they're so young initially, so then, they're still young, but how did you sort of map out where they would go as they would go on, and sort of be able to still maintain that sense of, wow, this is what happened, and the only people who are in something like that understand each other.
Right. I think that was a little bit of like the jumping off point for me, was knowing that this group of people would be basically alone together. So their friendship becomes essential. But, at one point, I think Sloane is like, well, how would I even date? Like, at what point do you reveal that you saved the world? Is it like fourth date? Like, is that the right date? So I think that was kind of a focus for me. And showing the way they each respond to being famous or basically killing a man, which is kind of a complex thing. Right. How they each individually react to it, it was like really character defining for each of them. So with Sloane, she resents it. She hates being famous. She wants everyone to leave her alone. And Matt, her boyfriend, is like the chosen one, the one. And he's taken on this big sense of responsibility. One of the other ones, Esther, has started a lifestyle brand. So she's like the goop of this world. And like Albie was addicted to drugs and is dealing with that. And then Inez is like paranoid. So, they're all like, they've got their quirks that aren't quirks that are actually serious. But their way of relating to the situation in which they now find themselves.
And there's nothing like character driven storytelling. And do you map it all out? Did you know how it was going to go, or did it reveal itself a bit?
I definitely map things out now. I didn't always. Like with the first Divergent book, it was just like an exploration. But ever since then, I've gotten more and more into outlining. But then as you go, you always discover what you thought would work and doesn't work, actually. So that certainly happened with this book, as with all of my books. They surprise me.
Well, and people like to know about that process, and that there isn't just one way to write a book or to have a book pour out of you. Is this one that was sort of floating around in your head while you were working on the others, or did you say, okay, now it's time to write this one?
Yeah, I just looked back this morning because I wanted to see when it really started. And I had originally like written up and proposed the idea in December of 2017, which was like right in the middle of the Carve the Mark series, which was my follow-up series to Divergent. And so I was like writing about, people in on a space adventure. And then I was also thinking about this other idea. So I think for me, a book idea lives for a long time, kind of passively in the back of my mind, and then it will start to take shape. So, and it takes a while for me to articulate exactly what it is, or whether it's the thing I want to be working on next, or whether I want to put a pin in it and wait, so.
Do you always come back to the things with pins in them?
Sometimes, but I also figure if I don't, then it really wasn't worth pursuing anyway.
Yeah, I love putting a pin in things, mostly in conversations. It's kind of like, let's just put a pin in this. And then, of course, but I have this need to unpin it at some point. But you're right, same idea. If you really don't, or you think about it, you're like, I guess that wasn't that important to discuss in the first place.
So, yeah, like use your mind as a sifter.
Anne Hood talks about her mind as the lint catcher and a dryer.
Oh, yeah. Same idea.
I like that, sifter, lint. So what kind of a reader were you as a kid?
Oh, constant. Like I think I took a bunch of books into the shower, so like you hold it out of the spray with one hand and you're like.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so a lot of my books were like rippled. And my sister played sports and I was too young to stay at home by myself. So my mom would take me to all the games. So I'd sit under the bleachers at volleyball or basketball games and read the whole time. So I was just like always facing a book. Yeah.
That's so funny. Was your mom like, your sister's playing? Wait, she just made a really good whatever they make.
She was like, it's fine. But she did tell me a lie when I was a kid, which is that reading at the breakfast table will give you stomach problems. Because she was like, this is the one time a day I get to talk to you, so could you please put the book down?
So funny. When did you figure out that wasn't true?
I didn't, it just kind of faded away over time. And then I think I was like 21 and I was like, hey, I made up.
What did you make up? That would make me question my whole childhood, Veronica. That's so funny. I've never heard of that one. Who were some of your favorite authors, favorite books when you were a kid?
Well, I liked Madeleine L'Engle a lot and Lois Lowry. I also read not all of them because it continued for quite some time, but the Animorphs books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I was really into Babysitter's Club. So, I had a very, like, many interests.
Yeah, a wide range. And what are you doing? I mean, so you're in Chicago. What are you doing besides all of the promotion? And this is Veronica Roth. Visit Veronica Roth Books at .com. Yep. And on Facebook and on Instagram. And Chosen Ones is out today. And look, this will keep you very busy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous book, and everyone's looking for books. And I know that book clubs will love this one too. And, are you able to read? Like, a lot of people are a little bit distracted, but like, if you want to jump into an amazing book, if it's distracting and you can't follow a book, you should put it down. So then you just pick up the really good ones. That's what you do.
And the fun ones, the escapist ones, those are important right now.
Yes, you have to, just really, and I've been getting a lot of those requests. And sometimes it's a lot of pressure. Like, one of my friends asked, and I stacked up a bunch, and I figured she would choose, but no, she was like, well, just pick one for me. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I know, because you feel responsible for the next few days of their life, whether it goes well or not.
Exactly, and they may never come back. And also, what would speak to me and I would find entertaining and all of that might not, but I was like, I'll pick one. They're all great, so let me just pick one. So we'll see what she comes back with. But are you binging any of the TV series or diving into books or movies or?
I am definitely someone who avoids all kind of new or scary things when I'm in a state of stress, like we all are right now. So I've actually been talking to friends on Instagram Live about what you seek for comfort in this time, because I have one friend who was watching Contagion last week.
Somebody else mentioned that, you should watch this, and I was like,
no.
Today I'm not interested. Really, that's not my thing. But no.
But for her, it was comforting, because she's like, see, they're handling this situation. And for me, I go the other way. So I just finally watched the 7th season of Parks and Recreation.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's fun too, because people are in all sorts of, you don't even remember sometimes, unless you're really watching them, where you were. So you get to sort of come back to that. And now I'm not doing Contagion. We just finished Little Fires Everywhere.
Oh, cool.
Well, not finished. I guess the new one's tomorrow night. So that was really good. And and that's not something I normally spend time on. So I think that's fun. But Parks and Recreation sounds about right.
Yeah. When I originally watched it, I was recovering from a surgery. So I think it's kind of like a nice comfort, like a warm blanket kind of show for me.
Yeah, and I think those are the things we gravitate towards, whether it's food or, old movies we loved, books, favorite authors, books that remind us of a certain time. And books do that. I mean, I always remember where I was when I was reading a book, what else was going on, and
or what season it was. Because for me, Harry Potter, they always came out in the summer, so they feel like summer when I read them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I remember when the kids would wait for them. I forget at which point when they first started coming out. I think my son got to read a bunch, and then you'd have to wait for them. But the midnight parties in the summer.
What a time.
Yeah, I know. Good times. Well, it's been such a treat having you on.
Yeah, thanks.
Veronica Roth, Chosen Ones. You want to hold yours up again too? I like it too. I like the side by side.
Also, I got to show everybody something, which is that it's so pretty underneath. Not to be but it is very nice.
Well, Houghton has done such an amazing job on this book, as they do with their books. And in the inside papers, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's a work of art. It's Veronica Roth. It's Chosen One. Find her at veronicarothbooks.com. And this is Reading with Robin, signing off for a mighty blaze. Veronica, enjoy the rest of your pub day. Keep in touch. And enjoy the rest of Parks and Recreation.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.